Hey there folks, and welcome back to Footy Today, where we bring you the latest and greatest news in the world of football. So in today's video we are going to look at the next possible destinations for José Mourinho. We also want you to get involved. Let us know where you think he will end up, or is it time for him to give it a rest and leave the management world? Drop your comments below. Now let's get into it. The special one is currently out of a job, but is never out of the spotlight. Mourinho has been speaking recently about what he hopes he can get from his next gig. The former Chelsea, Inter, and Real Madrid manager feels he's become a victim of his own success. "The only thing I want is for the targets to be set fairly," he told The Telegraph. "I cannot go to a club where, because of my history, the objective is to win the title." Mourinho's last role was with Roma, where he won the UEFA Conference League in 2021-22 and reached the Europa League final the following season. He was sacked in January after 2.5 years in charge, with Roma sitting 9th in Serie A at the time. He may no longer guarantee success at the highest level the way he once did, but Mourinho is still a box office manager whose availability will interest many top clubs. Here are 5 potential next destinations for the self-proclaimed special one. Chelsea. Tuesday evening's 5-0 thrashing at the hands of Arsenal was the latest and perhaps greatest embarrassing moment in what has been a rough season for free-spending Chelsea. Speculation over Mauricio Pochettino's Stamford Bridge future was already rife before the humbling hammering at the Emirates. Pressure on the Argentinian manager's position has only increased in light of the result, which left Chelsea 9th in the table. If the Blues decide to move on from Pochettino this summer, Mourinho's name will inevitably be linked with a return for a third spell in charge in West London. A cult hero at the club for delivering its first 2 Premier League titles when he arrived in England off the back of taking Porto to Champions League glory in 2004, Mourinho won a third title in his second spell. Both his previous stints at the Stamford Bridge helm ended in acrimony and amid controversy and poor on-field results. But the equation prospective Mourinho employers have always had to ponder is whether the success he usually attains is worth the inevitable fallout. Yet some clubs, including Chelsea, may no longer value him due to his declining performance. The coach's past reluctance to nurture talent might also contribute to this decision. Overall, he doesn't fit perfectly with a young, expensive team. But it will be 20 years this summer since Mourinho first arrived at Chelsea and announced himself to the wider world as the special one. There would be a fitting symmetry to bringing him back now, exactly 2 decades on, and fix Chelsea under the new Todd Boehly ownership. Sporting. Having not been approached for the Liverpool job, Bruno Amorim, who is Sporting CP's impressive young coach, seems destined for a new challenge next season. A return to Portugal would allow Mourinho to complete the set when it comes to managing each of the big 3 clubs in his homeland, having briefly been in charge at Benfica in his first managerial role before later achieving such success with Porto. It would also be a return to where it all began for Mourinho, whose big break in the game came when he was hired to act as Bobby Robson's interpreter when the English manager took charge of Sporting in the early 1990s. It would represent a stark shift in footballing philosophy for Sporting to go from Amorim, a 39-year-old coach with an aggressive, attack-minded style, to 61-year-old Mourinho, who is best known for tactical rigidity and a conservative way of playing. But even at this stage of his career, attracting a manager of Mourinho's standing in the game would be a huge coup for the Lisbon club. Newcastle. Hampered by the worst injury record in the Premier League and with financial regulations limiting the spending power of the super-wealthy Saudi owners, the 2023-24 campaign has seen Eddie Howe and Newcastle take a step back in their plans to establish a side ready to compete for titles. The Magpies finished 4th last term to qualify for the Champions League for the first time in 20 years. This season, they are 7th in the Premier League and were eliminated from Europe's top club competition at the group stage. Howe appears to have enough credit in the bank to at least be given another season to see whether he can kickstart Newcastle's progress. But if the club's owners grow impatient and seek a change, Mourinho would make sense on a number of levels. Firstly, his initial Chelsea spells saw him inspire the similarly newly rich Blues to Premier League dominance. And for most of his career he has operated in the echelons to which Newcastle aspire, shopping in the transfer market with the kind of budget the owners can provide. Marseille. Despite regular links to the PSG job down the years, Mourinho has never managed in France. With PSG having already secured the Ligue 1 title this season and preparing to take on Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League semi-finals, manager Luis Enrique's position is unlikely to come under threat anytime soon. One potential opening that could entice Mourinho to France, however, is PSG's bitter rivals Marseille. Marseille have not long changed managers, with Gennaro Gattuso sacked in February and replaced by 70-year-old Jean-Louis Gasset. But after an initial brief uptake under the veteran former Saint-Etienne and Bordeaux boss, Marseille have now gone 5 league games without a victory and sit 8th in the table. talking over at the spectacular Stade Velodrome would offer Mourinho a new challenge on a big stage. MLS. The current betting favourite for Mourinho's next destination is any Saudi Pro League club. The burgeoning, cash-rich league would surely jump at the chance to bring in a manager of his pedigree and name value. But a move to Major League Soccer is more likely to stoke Mourinho's competitive fires. Storylines would abound for the Portuguese coach if he arrived stateside, where he could face off against Lionel Messi once again, reigniting the bitter Real Madrid-Barcelona clashes of his time at the Bernabeu. Mourinho could even manage Messi. It is not difficult to imagine a scenario in which Inter Miami moves on from Tata Martino if they don't achieve their aims of unprecedented success this season. No club values star power more than Miami. No manager offers more star power than Mourinho. And while the league continues to focus on attractive big-name European players to draw more eyeballs and garner more credibility, Mourinho's arrival would be the managerial equivalent. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments below. Remember to like and subscribe as it does help us out a great deal. Thanks for watching.